Hello and welcome to the Devil Cyborg Podcast, where consistency and professionalism is the lowest priority. I apologise for not uploading an episode of the podcast last week. It was mainly due to lack of motivation that I didn't upload anything, but I'm back on my feet and I am ready to go. We don't have a guest this week as I've kind of lost my main source of guests, but I am happy to start running this as a solo podcast now as I feel more confident in my own self. So we'll see how this goes, you know. It's a new experiment, and Jesus Christ, have I run the Devil Cyborg Podcast into the ground recently. But nevertheless, we'll kick this off with a bit of update right now, a bit of update on what's happening with my world right now, because we've had a lot of in previous episodes. I should note, we always asked guests how's life at the moment and all that, but I never really get to talk about how my life's doing. Like, sometimes I had some things, so make it a bit more personal. So I'm at university right now, and I recently had a massive blunder where I had a coursework file I had to upload, and I had some specifications, so it had to be compressed with this certain thing and all that stuff. But one thing I did not notice was that it had to be named after the candidate number. What I also noticed from that specification was that if it wasn't named after that, then you'd get 0 marks for the whole thing. So that was that was great. But luckily I asked lecturers and it's all fine now. It should be fixed. But yeah, it was a bit of a scary moment. I remember talking to people 95 Degrees about it. They were very some people were like, oh my god, what are you going to do and all that stuff. And my parents were quite helpful as well. They just reassured me that everything will be fine. But that was a very scary moment. What else? Okay. So currently the owner of 95 Degrees is out. Basically, he's moved out of his house and he's moving house with his family. But currently he has no internet. So it's basically meant that the assistant and the interns have had to run events, and I've basically been at the helm of both events. We had a game night where we played Town of Salem, the browser game, and then a few Kahoots on Rabbit, which is a very, very fun thing. That was pretty fun. And then 2 nights after, I should say, because it was supposed to be the Saturday night, but then something happened, which I will inform you guys about. But we watched the animated film Rango, through Rabbit as well, which was a very nice film, very underrated. I mean, did win an Oscar. A very, very underrated film. Speaking of Saturday night, when the movie night was supposed to be, I went to my first ever live wrestling show, Riptide Wrestling, Brighton Spirit Night 2, at the Brighthelm Centre in Brighton. It was really good. The main event was Pete Dunne and Trent Seven versus Millie McKenzie and Aussie Open. It was really good. I got to see my friend's wrestling friend, who is a wrestler. I really could have said that a lot better. My friend's friend who is a wrestler. That's better. He smashed a keyboard on someone's head, which was always lovely. And it was just really good fun. I think British wrestling is probably one of the most fun places for a crowd. And especially because I stood at ringside, which was it was really, really good. So that was really fun. And just chants were really fucking good as well. So that's kind of what's happened most recently. Of course, other stuff, but this is going off the top of my head. As most people know, when you watch these podcasts, not much planning goes into these, so it's surprising that it's gone this well so far. So what I think I'm going to do now, just hopping into stuff, is, of course, this weekend, WWE are releasing the podcast. Okay. Not the podcast, the pay-per-view. If Fastlane was the pay-per-view, then God knows. But yes, Fastlane 2018 is being streamed. It's out on Sunday, basically. And currently, there's 4 matches. I believe tomorrow we may get more. If not, that is very, very awkward. But currently, you've got the 6-pack challenge for the WWE Championship. Jesus fucking Christ. You have Bobby Roode versus Randy Orton for the United States Championship. The Usos versus the New Day, again, for the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. And Charlotte Flair versus Ruby Riott with the Riott Squad for the SmackDown Women's Championship. So only championship matches so far. And you got to think, where's the stories outside of the championships? SmackDown always falters around WrestleMania season. It happened last year. Actually, no, it kind of faltered after the WrestleMania, really. But it could do a lot better, especially with the talent it has. Shinsuke Nakamura has no match. Like, surely Shinsuke should be having a match. If what? But I'm gonna run my thoughts down on the Fastlane matches, and hopefully just put forward my opinions on the matches. So the six-pack challenge will start off with, I fully see AJ Styles winning this, because even though what John Cena said on Raw about, you know, oh, I could win the match and face Shinsuke, but then AJ could rematch, all that stuff. It's a nice thought. It's a nice thought, John Cena being in the main event, but John Cena isn't going to win his record breaker on a B show. I mean, I know WWE like to push forward things a lot, but they're not going to win it on a B show. It's just going to be an AJ Styles win. Dolph Ziggler isn't winning it. Baron Corbin isn't winning it. As long as I wish Sami Zayn could win it, but he's not. It's just going to lead him to Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn at WrestleMania. AJ Styles is going through the win, and it's just annoying that they've crammed so many people into a WWE Championship match, and it's not like, it's basically Elimination Chamber, but a six-pack challenge, and no stipulation whatsoever. It's just, hey, we've got 6 people fighting for the championship. Woohoo! So we'll go on to a singles match, which might be good. Bobby Roode versus Randy Orton. Bobby Roode won the United States Championship. Something I thought Shinsuke Nakamura was going to win very quickly, but you know, things happen. Who was the United States Championship during that time? Oh yeah, AJ Styles and Kevin Owens. Huh. But Bobby Roode, he's been a good one. Beat Baron he beat, who did he beat for the championship? Oh god, I can't remember. But he won the championship from someone I do not remember. It might have been Baron Corbin, but fuck knows. But now he's facing Randy Orton, who seems to be looking to gain his Grand Slam. Randy Orton could ultimately win it. However, this has been recorded before SmackDown Live, which means, because Randy Orton vs Jinder Mahal is happening tonight, we may get a cheeky triple threat match, which nobody wants. Hey! SmackDown Live. So Bobby Roode versus Randy Orton versus Jinder Mahal, as I'm predicting, might happen after tonight. Well, you can be the judge of this. You're listening to this. I don't know. I think Bobby Roode would come out in the victory. Randy Orton could, and it would be a pretty sick moment for him. But it's just I can't see the United States Championship being defended at WrestleMania. That's all I can say. The Usos versus the New Day. I see the Usos winning this match, because even though they've had it for a while and New Day are a strong team every time, but then no, I'm gonna stick with the Usos. I'm sticking with the Usos. I honestly think the Usos will win this match, and it's gonna be a multi-man tag match at WrestleMania. Or it might not even be a tag match for the Usos at all. Maybe they'll just be in the armbar again. That has been my prediction for quite a while. The Usos just aren't going to get onto the main show. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see if karma comes back around, you know? And of course we have the cheeky queen, Charlotte Flair, versus Ruby Riott, with Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan for the SmackDown Women's Championship. And I can just see Charlotte Flair winning this, because I don't think Ruby Riott is in a position right now to win a championship. Of course, brought up quite recently, one of the most recent call-ups. I can't see her beat Charlotte Flair, especially on Fastlane, which is it's a weak pay-per-view for Charlotte, but you know, I can't see Ruby Riott winning it, even with outside interference. It's a lackluster pay-per-view so far, and luckily, oh no, actually, I may not be able to watch it, but well, thank God I can't watch it. It is kind of boring, it's annoying. It's SmackDown Live. It used to be good, then it got fucked up the arse, and look where we are now. So I don't know how well Fastlane is going to be, but you know, God knows. But one thing I would like to mention is something across the Pacific from them, and that is New Japan Pro Wrestling. So of course they had their 46th anniversary show this week. I'm going to say this week because it was technically today, but it's not for you. And one of the matches, I basically caught two matches because I kind of noticed when I was in class, and I was like, well, I'm going to have to bring this up on my phone quick. But I watched Suzuki vs. Makabe, or parts of Suzuki vs. Makabe, and Ospreay vs. Okada. And with Suzuki vs. Makabe, it was a fairly good match. I don't really get the Makabe hype, if there is any, in honesty. It just doesn't take on my fancy, really. It doesn't take on my fancy. Suzuki, though, very good gotch pile driver to end this. And Suzuki maybe is one of the only, probably one of the only guys who is intimidating while putting on a sleep hold. Like, you see anyone put on a sleep hold, Suzuki's probably one of them. Maybe Samoa Joe is intimidating while putting on a sleeper hold. Suzuki is just a bit more intimidating. The main event, of course, Kazuchika Okada, the heavyweight champ, versus Will Ospreay, the junior heavyweight champ. It was a really good match. I watched it all, and it was really good. It was more grounded than an Ospreay match normally is. Ospreay, of course, very high risk, high reward. I sound like a commentator here, but he's definitely a good wrestler. I have stated that I think Ospreay is in the top 25 wrestlers a lot active right now. Like, if you get Will Ospreay, then you have a great fucking match. With Okada, though, of course, he is probably the number one. And it was a really good match between the two. Ospreay worked a grounded style, but also added a bit of flash, a lot of springboard. Well, not a lot of springboard. There was one forearm, a couple. Actually, it was pretty good. A lot of drop kicks. They both like drop kicks, which I'm very happy about. But of course, it ended with the Rainmaker, a very, very powerful Rainmaker. And they gave a little hug at the end, which is very nice. A very little nice hug between between the Ace and the Ospreay. You can tell I have no ideas for this episode. I really have no ideas. Quick drink so I can talk. I can speak coherently. Still can't speak coherently. What is wrong with me? So yeah, it was a good anniversary show for the last two matches I saw. Apparently, Taichi versus Naito was pretty good. I saw the finish of that, and Jesus Christ, the hit of Naito with the cane onto the head. Ooh, okay. And apparently, Sonata versus Yoshihashi, I believe that was the match. Yoshihashi was pretty impressive on the show as well. So it's all good. Of course, Taichi and Yoshihashi kind of the people who were kind of overlooked. I mean, Yoshihashi for a reason, but you know. Apparently Taichi put on one of his best matches, and of course he's heavy Q Taichi. His first match is heavyweight, I believe. So it's all pretty good for Taichi right now. A lot of promise with him. But of course, the New Japan Cup is coming up. And of course, the New Japan Cup comes with a lot of people guessing what the fuck is going to happen. So there's a couple of matches which are potential cool matches. So there's not many interesting first round matches. The ones I'd pick out to watch, perhaps Elgin versus Ishii. Um, two hosses really. I could see Ishii winning this because Ishii is always a pick for the New Japan Cup. They'll probably push him around semi-finals area, maybe even final if they're going full Ishii. But it should be a good match between Elgin and Ishii. One which could result the biggest upset in recent history, Tanahashi versus Taichi. I'm all in for a Taichi win here. It would be massive Taichi to win, Suzuki-gun and all that stuff. But then it would mean that Taichi would probably have to face Bad Luck Fale in the next round, which would be absolutely hilarious. Also, Yoshihashi versus Kota Ibushi, with Yoshihashi being more impressive recently, and Kota Ibushi just being Golden Star. It could be really good for him. And Naito versus Zack Sabre Jr., of course. I believe they fought in the G1 Climax last year. I may have to double check that. But I believe they put on a good match there. So both really good wrestlers. Zack Sabre Jr., one of the most technically gifted wrestlers around, and Naito just has bags of charisma. It should be a good match. And the next two matches, the first round matches I'm not interested in. It's what the results could mean for round two. And what I'm hoping for is Toru Yano defeats Davey Boy Smith Jr. and in a shock, Chucky T defeats Sanada, so we get Toru Yano versus Chucky T in round two. I mean, come on. That would be a very, very fun match to watch and would just brighten my day up quite well. It does mean that Toru Yano would probably win, and then you go on to face probably Naito, but it's all good. But I should probably put on my pick to win this. I think it might be Ishii versus Naito in the finals, and Naito wins. I think Naito might get one more shot at Sakura Genesis against Okada. And maybe he'll win. I don't know. There's not been much weaknesses exploited in Okada yet. He's being positioned as this real strong character that you can't really beat right now. So I don't know what's going to be happening with Okada right now. He's been beating guys left and right, and Naito, of course, recently beat Taichi, but it does depend if they're willing to push Naito back into the scene. But the New Japan Cup should be quite fun. It starts in by the time this comes out, which would be the 8th, I believe, it basically happens the day after. So if you're watching on the day of this release, hi, you must be a real big fan. Also, tomorrow is New Japan Cup, so I'd suggest you watch that. So yeah, that should be pretty fun. The Friday, I believe... Ooh, am I going to be busy that Friday? Oh, please don't say I'm busy that Friday. I'm not busy that Friday. Oh no, I am busy that Friday. No! Ah, shit. Oh well. That's something like Elgin versus Ishii. Oh no, it's Elgin. Oh, okay. Yep. It's gone bad. It's gone bad to worse. And even worse. So that's not fun at all. So let's try and alter this path of the podcast onto something else now that we've nearly hit the 20-minute mark. This has actually gone pretty well for the solo podcast. I didn't think it would go this well. This is very surprising for me. So let's move this on to... Nope, can't think of a thing. I can't think of a thing. So you know what I'm gonna do? Right now, in a server, I'm going to ask. I'm going to put like an Ask Me Anything thing. I'm going to put an AMA on, and hopefully we'll get some questions. We'll look at that later, though. We'll look at that later. No, well, I'm going to talk about my EWR save. So if you're not aware of in EWR or Extreme Warfare Revenge, it's a fantasy booking game. You may have heard like Total Extreme Wrestling, which is one of the more recent versions. This is like a 2000. Oof. I apologize for the mic. It is very very shit recently. Um, so um, so basically, it's a 2003 booking game. However, it's had mods for it, so it can be up to date. And recently, I've been playing one where it's got very serious. I do really apologize for the mic. I need to buy a new one, but I'm basically broke right now. Um, um, but basically, it's pretty good. My world champion is Cody Rhodes, and my heavyweight champion is Dean Ambrose. Um, So it's pretty good. Cody Rhodes is currently set up for a triple threat at the next pay-per-view against Sami Zayn and Adam Cole, which I don't know if that's a draw or not. You'll have to tell me. Oh, what is it? Oh, the other one. Dean Ambrose is currently feuding with CM Punk, so that's a pretty nice match to go around along with it. Um, it's pretty good. Other matches I've got is I really have to apologise for this moment. I'm just gonna hold it. I think. Other matches: Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Chris Jericho. Kind of battle of the old guys. Will Ospreay versus Single Star Nick Jackson. Velveteen Dream versus Joey Janela. Kazuchika Okada versus Kevin Owens, and Akam of the Authors of Pain versus Rusev. So yeah. So yeah, it's a pretty fun game. I would suggest if you're getting into fantasy booking, get Extreme Warfare Revenge. If you're fairly familiar with it, go for Total Extreme Wrestling 16. It's quite expensive for a wrestling game, but it's worth it, really. Um, yeah, it's very good, but it's very good. I haven't played TEW too much recently. I've kind of only done like save simulations, seeing what happens throughout years, and I'm trying to get into the style now. But you know, um, it's a good game. It's a good game. I would suggest it to anyone who is a wrestling fan, really. Um, but yeah, it's very nice, and I think I've also got a light heavyweight matchup between Dragon Lee and a developmental talent called Bruiser Banks. So it's all very nice, really. Um, but either way, on with the show. Um, um, AMA, of course. The AMA. I have had two questions so far. One of them was, what would I name my autobiography? Uh, if I wrote one. I think I would title my autobiography either Failure of Life or Devil Cyborg, what did I do with my life? I feel that's I feel that's the main storyline of my whole life, really. So, someone else asked, what was the last thing you were afraid of? Um, the last thing I was really truly afraid of, I feel, is probably the dark. When I was a kid, I was quite scared of the dark. You know, when you're in your bedroom at night and it's all dark and you don't really know, especially if you have a big room, then it's kind of scary in the dark. I remember when I was upstairs. It was in my family home. It was quite it was quite dark, and I had to close the curtains, and it was dark in my room. And it was just dark outside, and I felt, is there a clown just gonna pop up at my window like at any moment? It was an odd one, but it was an odd fear, but it happens. I think on a more me IRL level, another fear I've recently had perhaps um is probably losing people. Like, I don't want to really lose people recently. Um but I think that's more of a personal thing. But yeah, who knows. I also had, would you rather have one hand made of regenerating ham or an armpit that dispenses Factor 30 sun cream? Jesus fucking Christ. For would you rather questions, that's a big would you rather. I think I'd have the hand, because, like, I'd never go hungry. I'd never go hungry. I mean, would it hurt? Would it hurt if I just gnawed my hand because of ham? I don't know. I think the sun cream thing is nice, but it's only really useful in the summer. So yeah. Someone also asked, what's my card number, expiry date, and security number on the back? Nice try, FBI. Of course, this AMA has brought up some good questions, some bad questions, and an awful mic as well. You've gotta love it. Oh, hey, I think I fixed it. Okay. But yeah, after that AMA, it seems I'm not getting any more in, so we'll talk one more thing, why not? The 90th Academy Awards. No, 90th Annual Academy Awards. That's it. I stayed up to watch the Oscars. Bad mistake. I stayed up till 5 AM. So, fault on me. I hope my mom doesn't watch this. But it was very good. Get Out won the award for best screenplay or best original screenplay, and I think that was deserved. I think Jordan Peele going to directing and stuff and making Get Out, I think it deserved an award by itself. I mean, it was really good. The Shape of Water winning Best Picture and Best Director as well. Guillermo del Toro getting his first Oscar Academy Award for Best Director. I think it's really good, and won Best Music Score, which it has made me want to watch The Shape of Water now. Yeah, I think I'll have to give it a watch soon. I think it may have only been recently released as well, but you know, things happen and all that stuff. It's pretty good. Disappointed the Boss Baby didn't win Best Animated Feature, of course, but Coco did win, and I'm extremely excited about that one because I really have to apologize for this microphone. I don't know why it's fucking up. I don't know why it's fucking up so much recently. So all I can really do. Oh. Okay, I think I'll just keep my head here and hopefully it doesn't break. I'm gonna have to get a new microphone soon, Jesus. But yeah, Coco won Best Animated Feature and Best Original Song for Remember Me, which I think was really deserved. Coco, I have watched. I think it may have been the only one from Best Animated Feature that I had watched. But it was really nice. It explored into the Day of the Dead culture very well, and Remember Me is just a really, really nice song. So yeah, that was the Oscars. They also invaded a theatre which was next door to the awards, which was quite hilarious. They shot hot dogs into. It was a weird Oscars, but that's what happens when it's 90 years of it. Jesus. But coming up on 30 minutes, I think for a solo podcast, I'm gonna cut these down now to 30 minutes, just to make it all good. So I think that's all for now. So of course, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much, not watching, should I say. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. It's nice to do something solo, I feel. It's very nice to do this. So thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you in the next one.